obviously been a force on the court, but since she's got to Tennessee, it feels like she's just brought this like contagious energy to the team. Can you talk a little bit about how that's affected the dynamic of the overall team?
Yeah, absolutely. She is a great person, and she is fun to be around. Jewel connects with everyone, whether it's players, coaches, staff, recruits, fans. She has that infectious personality that you want to be around, and so she's bringing such a great positive energy to our team. It's something that we need.
How have Jewel and Rakia been able to help each other improve now that Rakia is back?
Well, I think on the court, not having such a heavy load is great for Rakia. We can spread the ball around, and obviously Jewel's stepping up and playing with great confidence. It gives not just Rakia confidence, it gives our whole team confidence, and I think it, it's been a real big positive for everyone. And then obviously we know that when Rakia's out there, her teammates have great confidence in her as well. So any time you've got someone playing well, playing hard, and playing with great confidence, I think everyone can pull from that.
Do you expect Jillian to be good to go for Sunday?
We'll see. I know she's supposed to be over here today and back around, so we'll see how she's feeling.
I know you guys had a decent chunk of points off of turnovers last night, but it felt like they were really able to execute in the half court, especially against that 3-2 zone. Just what do you feel like led to that success, and how important is it to kind of get some traction in the half court with this team?
Yeah, I think our team felt comfortable against their defense. I think our prep, our game plan was really solid, and not just a solid game plan. I think our players felt good about the game plan and understood the assignment, so to speak. I think, just having the confidence of how we scored and how we were able to share the ball, I think is good. Hopefully they're walking out of there feeling good about what we did offensively, because that was a really, really great performance.
Third quarters have been so influential, good or bad, especially in SEC play. When you guys come out of the locker room, what needs to be the focus to kind of shift that into your favor moving forward?
I think for us, when we come out of halftime, we're looking to make adjustments. We're looking to tweak things in our favor, whether that is the X's and O's, or maybe effort or statistics that we're tracking on, whether it's offensive boards. I think for us, just coming out with a renewed focus at times on the next 20 minutes.
When you went back and watched the film, was there anything in particular in the third quarter against Georgia on the defensive end that kind of went wrong?
There were a few breakdowns, but man, Georgia made some tough shots. They made some jumpers over contested hands. I thought our energy was a little bit low, but and there were a few times they got the ball all the way to the paint. We don't want to see that. But there were several buckets that were hard shots to make, and they made it. And we have to live with some of those.
Avery got some run in the first half. What went into that decision? What did you think? How'd you assess her play?
Yeah, well, obviously not having Jillian, we knew we probably needed a slightly different rotation in the guards position, because we were going to keep Sarah and Rakia a little bit more with the forwards. I thought Avery had a couple of pretty good practices leading up to, and one thing that she does, she plays really hard, and she's athletic and physical, so I thought it could be a good combination for that game.
What do you think is the key to putting together the best third quarter as possible?
I think just focus and energy. It starts there. Understanding what we need to do. It's the game plan's rarely going to completely be overhauled from the first quarter to the second quarter, third or fourth. The game plan rarely is overhauled, but adjustments have to be made throughout the game. And obviously at halftime you get a reset, you get an opportunity to sit and talk through and to think through and to refresh that game plan, so to speak. So being able to go out and execute that, but it's so much more than the X's and O's. It really has to be with that focus and energy, and then the execution comes along with it.
The SEC feels deeper this year in a way, and just with the tough road schedule you had, being tied for second in the SEC right now, just how big is that for your team, and how difficult is that in this conference this year?
This league is so tough this year. There are no bad teams. I think that is there's just not, we don't have the bottom. You don't have a game that you can look on the schedule and go, oh, that's going to be an easy win for so-and-so. That just does not happen this year. And I think, you've seen that in wins and losses. You've seen that in scores, close games, tight games. I think everyone is capable. And I think that is one of the most challenging things about the league this year. And our players recognize it, and I would say most players in the league, you have to bring it each and every night. There cannot be an off night. And we talk about that every year, but I think it's holding true this year more than ever.
Kind of the same token, Jewel said she had to learn some of the physicality that comes with the SEC and kind of get used to SEC play. What does that look like from your point of view?
For Jewel?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think just getting comfortable being uncomfortable. I think for her, understanding, that you can have success playing in a physical league, and really sometimes embracing it, and sometimes your mindset has to even change in practice and how we approach practice. But I think players that have been through it, players that have experienced it, night in and night out, it's a little bit easier for them to understand exactly what it is. I think she's to that point now, and obviously she's very experienced, and she's played in big games. So that transition is probably a little bit quicker for her, understanding, oh, this is what you've been talking about.
Seeing Tamari get her first start in a really long time as a coach, what does that mean for you to be able to see that after everything she's been through?
Yeah, obviously I'm proud of Tamari. We've seen the progression, and we've seen her, improve, and we've, you go back and look at any of the interviews, I've talked about being patient with her. We had to be patient with her. She had to be patient with herself, because we knew it was going to take a while. And I think we've seen that, but also I'm really proud of her for hanging in there, because that is daunting to be out that long with the condition that she had, and to be back now and really projecting in a positive way. I think that speaks volumes to her and how she's handled her situation.
You said the team's been pretty receptive to the lineup changes. How important is it to have players that maybe don't have an ego about getting bumped from the starting lineup?
Yeah, I think our players understand it's it's a team, and I think they, more than anything, they want to win. They really do. And they're, when we start with good people, which we do, we start with really good people. I think they get it. Every player on every team wants to start, and there is no problem with that. I think to have that goal and to have that competitiveness, I think that's great. And to think that it's okay, to think that as a coach that's not going to be hard on them, that's false. It just is. It's and I think accepting that's important, but also accepting the role that you're given is important, and all of our players have done that.
Since Kaya's moved to that point guard position, how would you assess the wing, and kind of what players have given you the most production there?
Well, obviously on the perimeter, at the wing, we've had Tess and Jewel, Sarah and Rakia at times. We can still slide Kaya over if we're going to play a couple, two guards there. And then Avery getting back out there, getting some minutes, that's going to be important. It doesn't seem very long, that depth doesn't seem very long, but right now, to me, what they're doing is playing to their strengths. I really do believe they're playing to their strengths, and also sharing the basketball so that we can find post players, we can use ball screens, we can shoot threes, we can do a lot of different things.
What have you liked the most about the team's play inside the paint, specifically in SEC play?
Yeah, I think for the most part, most of the games we do a pretty good job of looking to get the ball inside. I think establishing some presence in there offensively is important for the entirety of our offense. It allows us to have versatility. It allows us to have some balance. I think you could easily fall in love with the perimeter shot, and I don't think that is to our advantage. I think it's to our advantage to have the balance. And again, it's not been every game, but I do think our players look for that, and I think they want and know the value of us getting the ball inside.
It felt like last night there was such good balance, as you talked about, not just in scoring, but assists, rebounding. Felt like everybody kind of felt very settled in their roles. Do you feel like this team, is there anything that stands out by the way they've kind of bought into the team aspect or embraced the roles that they have on this team?
Yeah, I think the more we play, the more comfortable they are with our offense and the balance and sharing that we need to have. Obviously, the defense lended itself to having us focus on that in this particular game. But I think they knew exactly where the ball needed to go. I thought we took good shots. I thought we made good passes. I thought we knew where to look. That may have been as important as anything, knowing where we were trying to get the ball. And then playing basketball. I think that was the other thing. It wasn't just quick hits. It wasn't very robotic. It was, we gave them a plan, and then they played basketball out of that plan, which is the style that I like. But they executed it, and I was proud of them for that.
Speaking of changes in roles, how do you think Caroline did coming off the bench that she wasn't able to do starting?
Yeah, no, the thing about her, she's going to be so consistent. So Caroline gives you energy. She's positive. She communicates well. She's going to give you a physical presence in there. She posts up stronger than anybody on our team. She can really clear the paint. And obviously she can stretch the defense. She didn't get as many opportunities behind the three-point line, but she did get in there and stretch the paint defensively. So that was a big positive for us.
You mentioned Tess as one of those wings that's giving you depth. What have you seen from her in the recent stretch of games?
I think Tess has had a little bit more confidence. Coming out of that first half yesterday, I think she had hit 1 3, missed a few. And got her back out there in the second half, and she still felt confident about getting them up. She's been making them at a better percentage in practice, in live play in practice, so that matters. That carries over, and her teammates are really looking for her in practice. So her being able to be herself, be her best self, is important for us. But when she's doing more than just making shots. She's making good passes. She's making plays defensively. Small plays may not show up on the stat sheet, but she is making plays defensively for us. And she knows what she's doing. She's actually typically one of our higher plus minus players on the team because she's easy to play with. And right now we need that from her.
Thank you.
All right.